Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Ron Nicoletti along with Acacia Courtney. The penultimate day before the Curling Florida Derby, which will be tomorrow. Beautiful day here. High temperatures around 80. Sunny skies. Fast and firm. Pretty nice, Acacia.
Yes, it is. It's maybe 80 outside, but it is about minus 40 in my studio upstairs here. So I might be shivering a little bit throughout the show, but I know it'll be warm once I get outside. It's a beautiful afternoon.
Yeah, no, don't mind the chattering of the teeth if you should hear that today. And also, she might be shaking a little bit because it is Beat the Expert Day today.
Yeah, I'm shaking in my boots today as I'm up for Beat the Expert, my final week here for the meet. And I'm going out with a bang as I'm in the hot seat for Beat the Expert today. Free to play. My picks are up on the Gulfstream Park website. Just go over. You have to type in the horse's name and your picks, and you will be able to have a chance to pick more winners than me. If you do, you could have an opportunity to win one of those Beat the Expert polos. Again, we appreciate everybody that has played all throughout the championship meet. It hasn't been that hard to beat me and Beat the Expert, so if you are one of the people that does, 3 will be chosen from the pool. So we apologize for some of the confusion that's happened over the last few weeks, but we really appreciate you all playing. Again, it's free to play as always, just a lot of fun, and we hope you'll participate today.
Wait a minute. Did I hear you were leaving?
I am heading back up to New York, but don't worry, I'm here through Sunday, and we'll wrap up and hopefully with a lot of winners.
Well, yeah, we got a really nice day, as we mentioned. 5 furlongs. We're going to start it off on the turf. Maiden claim is 3-year-olds, 25 down to 20. It also kicks off the early pick 5, and not a good, easy way to start the Stronach 5. I mean, excuse me, the pick 5 this afternoon. I was thinking about the Stronach 5.
Wait, go back.
Yeah, I was thinking about the Stronach 5, which is canceled today. We'll talk about that later.
That's right. So let's show the early pick 5 ticket does kick off here. I'm 3 deep. I nearly used the number 2 Mamba on 3, but this one hasn't run since his 2-year-old debut back in May. Lots of changes going on today, but we'll see what happens with this one. I'm 3 deep in the opener. Like Ron said, not an easy way to start things off. I've got the 3 Clamor and the 6 Surprise Factor. In race number 2, Peachy Queen and Pulling Strings in the 3rd. I'm spreading a little bit in the 4th as I like a bit of a price. Tis a Prince, my long shot today, trying the turf for the first time. And in the 5th race, I wrap it up with 2 horses. I think the logical 2, hoping to get through that leg, which does also kick off today's Rainbow 6.
Yeah, $1.3 million. That's a little later today. I was the same way you were with the number 2 Mamba on 3. I put this horse further down on my ticket just because of the reasons you mentioned, that this horse hasn't been seen since last May, and only that one start. But it is Carlos David. I can understand it. I went to the inside like you did with the King Achilles, who's going to part from the rail after responding in the first race. That was after the claim by Kelly Breen. With his second place finish, I thought it was a good race. Tyler Gaffleone in the saddle today.
Absolutely, and this one does have speed. Tyler aboard, as you mentioned, second off the claim for Kelly Breen. The barn has been having a good meet throughout here during the championship meet at Gulfstream. I thought a very logical player in here. The 3 Loyal Louis, as we see this race exactly the same. We talk about how difficult it is, so let's see what happens here. Now, Loyal Louis, not the winning type for sure, as he is 0 for 8, but he has been good about picking up a check, especially the last couple of races, hitting the board at some comparable levels. So I think that he could grab a share with Jose Ortiz aboard.
Yeah, had some trouble going into the turn last time out. The other 8 Andres Eduardo was solid in defeat. He sort of bobbled at the start, finished 3rd behind the horse we both had on top of our tickets. Race number 2 this afternoon on the turf once again. 2 in a row, 5 furlongs on the turf. Claim is 4 and up. Non-winners of 2 in life, 20 down to $16,000. And once again, we've got almost the same super, but not quite. We both have the number 6 Surprise Factor.
And this one, first off, the reclaim, in fact, for trainer Victor Barbosa Jr. I think it's pretty key, especially with a barn like this that has very high numbers off the claim, that he dips back in for a horse that was claimed away from him for a start. Finished a good second last time out. I think that this one is just a very logical player in here. They tried stretching out in distance, and he actually ran well, but I think that his better races have been sprinting.
Well, one thing they didn't do was change jockeys. Ortiz Jr. in the saddle today. What a day he had yesterday. What is he, 2 away from tying the record?
Yeah, 2 away. I tweeted out yesterday, you might have seen 2, but in the 2017-2018 season, Luis Saez set the record for the most wins by a jockey in a single championship meet, and that was 137. So I ride Ortiz with Friday, Saturday, Sunday still left in the meet, and I think he rides every race on Sunday, right? That 12-race card. I would think that he'll either tie or pass it.
Yeah, 12 races. Boy, that's going to be a busy afternoon for him. Yeah, I think that the record might get beaten. That's the way I feel about it. We got a bunch of days, as you said, and he's riding some really nice Cadillacs on Saturday, of course, on Curl of Florida Derby Day. Your number 3 horse we both have in second, Clamor, I think should be primed and ready to offer more after returning from a long layup of about 11 months to finish that. Had some trouble at the start, finished 5th behind Surprise Factor for Tom Bush. Jose Ortiz named to handle second start up the bench. Tommy Bush, just one of my favorites. I always get some prices with him. I think this horse will run okay today.
I think second off the layoff, we're going to see a stronger effort, and you're right. Now, this horse does have the propensity to be a little bit awkward out of the gate. You can even see it in some of the short comments, and so breaking sharply is going to be a key, because when he did win, which was sprinting on the turf here at Gulfstream, he was kind of up and on top of the pace, so hopefully he gets out a little bit cleaner today.
Yeah, and we both have the logical horses behind. I went with Romario with the 2. You went with the number 4, and then it is Blood Prof. So I think the 6 and the 3 might be your major players in race number 2. Kicks off the first of 2 pick 4s this afternoon. Third race is 5.5 furlongs. This one's on the main track. Maiden claiming fillies, 3-year-olds, 12-5. We did have some scratches in this race, but not a lot of scratches. Once again on the card, scratch the 1, 7, and the number 9, Pretzel. It seems that Pretzel has been entered every day this week. It was either main track only or main track and just doesn't run. So I don't know what's happened. And once again, boy, you're in big trouble in Beat the Expert. We agree once again with the cold. It's dry here, and that's with the 2 Peachy Queen on top, who's a logical choice to exit the maiden ranks after responding to a drop down in class and the addition of blinkers with that second place finish. It's Danny Gargan, Tyler Gaffleone in the saddle.
And I know you love peaches, Ron.
Yeah, Peachy Fresh Corn, an old friend of mine.
As this one at an outside post last time, too, sprinting on the main track, going 5.5 and breaking from post 11. That's no easy task, and this horse finished a good second. So a much improved post today. She breaks from the inside versus the outside, but I'd rather that than being in post 11. I thought the other logical one was the 3 Pulling Strings, who is first off the claim, finished a respectable 3rd last time. It was off of a layoff, and it was dropping down to this level.
Yeah, and the trainer, Victor Barbosa Jr., really good first off the claim, over 30%. And guess who's riding around? Ortiz Jr. Morning line favorite is the number 12, Sweet Penelope, plunging to the 12-5 level. Faced a much tougher at going 7 and 6 furlongs. You just got to hope that the drop helps this horse today. Both of us have in a 3rd place this afternoon. The 4th race, we're back on the turf, and we're sprinting again. We got 3 sprints in the first 4 races. This one, 5 furlongs for maiden claiming 3-year-olds. This one is 50 down to $40,000. Finally some differences. You got your long shot or one of the horses you like in there. It's a price.
And my long shot is the 6 Tis a Prince, 15-1 on the morning line. Going to take a shot with this one as he takes the big drop in class from maiden special weight to maiden claiming. He's second off the layoff. He faced a very competitive field of maiden special weight runners on the dirt last time out. Plus, it was a sloppy track. You had Bears Watching, who is the brother to Code of Honor, come back and win, and Collaborate come back and win, who we'll see, I think, a horse that's going to take some money, in fact, in tomorrow's Curl and Florida Derby. This is a colt by Cairo Prince, whose progeny are versatile, and out of a mare who was multiple stakes place and a 3-time turf winner.
Trained by Aubrey Mirage. I did go with the 2.
Anthony Morgado.
Anthony Morgado, excuse me. I'm looking at the wrong name here. And the number 2, Dream Warrior, is who I put on top. Drop it to the 50 level. After a promising special weight debut in which he prompted the pace, he faded to finish 6th. But trainer Juan Avila is really good. He's really solid with maidens making their second start. And he's 25% with similar class drops. So lots of good angles there for me with the number 2 horse in there. So you got your long shot in here. We both sort of agree a little bit with the number 7, Alado.
Yeah, this one for Antonio Sano. And oh, look, I ride Ortiz. Now, the biggest thing with this horse is that I ride Ortiz has ridden him several times and sprinting as well and hasn't been able to get the job done, though always does seem to run well sprinting. You also have a first-time starter in here, and that's the 4 Bulk, who's a colt by Blame. The dam was a grade 3 winner. She never did win on the turf, but that this one is out of size, who you may recognize the name, as she's part of a very fruitful Claiborne Adele Dilschneider family that runs on anything.
Yeah, I like bulk, size. Oh, that's pretty cool the way they did.
I think, is also in there as well. Yeah.
Joe Bravo will be in the saddle today, so that is how we see race number 4. We'll take that short break and come back for race number 5, the first leg of the Rainbow Six. We got a hunch playing there, freezer burn, because you are freezing.
I am.
We'll be right back. Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Ron and Acacia. 5th race will start the Rainbow Six. It's a 6-furlong sprint. These are claimers, fillies and mares, 4 and up, non-winners of 2 races in life. We do have a scratch of the number 6 horse in here. We'll quickly go to my ticket, and I have a $48.60 ticket today, and I'm going to single in race number 6, Liza Star. And Peter Walder, the trainer of Liza Star, deserves a star for reading the condition book. And this horse is so much classier than this bunch. But Free to Fly was the other one I might have used, but I wanted coverage in the rest of the races. And I got a little bit of a price in race number 7 with Eskimo's Boss, who's the daughter of Sweet Boss. But she's a half-sister to Galleon Mass, who won 9 of 35 turf races and $600,000 the hard way. So $48.60 for me. And that one, of course, trained by David Falk. So I'm going to hang my hat with the number 5 in race number 6. I did start it off here in Acacia with the number 8, Freezer Burn, who's was set to pace second when going 7 furlongs against this level of competition. A couple of starts back, drops. Never got really seriously involved. I want to go back and show you that spot, that race 2 back, where at the top of the stretch to the wire, where this horse, did all the dirty work early on and just, ran well, I thought, at this level. And you're going to see it here. Just couldn't hold off the 3-2 favorite, the Lady Fiorella, in that race. So going back to where I think this horse will run well this afternoon.
No, I agree. I think that this is the right spot for this one. Stepped up to face tougher last time out, and just A wasn't really part of the pace, and then B just didn't perform. I thought her race 2 starts back was much stronger and just makes sense in this spot. And like you said, a little bit of a hunchback, because I've got goosebumps up here right now. But the number 2 is the other one that I had some interest in, Simple Story. I think the biggest thing for this filly, and she's taken, I think that public got a bit wise to her last time, but prior to that, she took quite a bit of money every time. I think she's better sprinting, though she's run some good races going long. I think that she's often over bet, but more than anything, I think she meets the right field today.
Yeah, and that scratch in that race was beautiful. Rosie, one of the horses I had highly placed, didn't scratch out, so I bumped up Queen of Barrio, cut him back to 6, vied for lead and finished 3rd, and going 6.5 for Carlos Perez. Junior Alvarado, talking about a guy who had a fantastic winter. Great having him down here. Yeah,
it always has been. I always enjoy catching up with Junior after the races, too. Gives such good feedback and insight into it as well.
Well, let's go to race number 6, and this one is a 6-furlong starter optional claimer. Fillies and mares 4 and up. Started for $6,250 or less, or the optional claiming price of $12,500. We're going to have 6 in the field, and this is going to kick off our late pick 5. Interesting to see what you did here.
Well, I considered singling Liza Star. I ended up wanting a little bit of coverage. I thought that perhaps Subsidiary, who turns back in distance, I wanted to include that one as well as the other 2 horses you mentioned, who I think will be very tough in this race. I've got Bonkers and Mint Edition in race number 7. I know you're going to make a joke about that. Race 8, 3 horses wanting a little bit of coverage. The inside 2 and Patty H into a T in the 9th race, and then hoping to wrap it up But if we get there, I think Poison Ivy should like the turf, and I included her along with class-dropping Zaffing.
Yeah, I've been itching to see how that one runs in the last race this afternoon. So number 5, Liza Starr. Just drop it to the 12-5 level. Starter optional claimer after drawing clear to defeat those 35 claimers last time out for Peter Walder. He takes full advantage of the conditions of this race, and Corey Lannery atop this 12-time winner.
No, it's amazing. I mean, you look at the conditions of the race. Fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and up, which have started for a claiming price of $62.50 or less, or a claiming price of $12.5. And Liza Starr just kind of like snugly sneaks into this condition because she's a 12-time winner, but she's a horse that kind of did it the hard way. As you mentioned, she came up through the ranks, and we've seen Peter Walder get crafty with main track onlys or horses that really fit the condition very, very well, and some horses that he's been able to do well with. Not to mention the barn has been in a really good groove lately, and I think it was encouraging to see that she got back into the winner's circle last time after appearing to be a little bit off form.
Yeah, it might cost me to not use the number 1 in here, and that's Free to Fly, who goes to the Marcial Navarro barn after the claim. I want to go back and show you this horse's start and then finish, and you'll see here this horse coming out the number 7. Not really coming out of the gate right there, just spotting the field about 5 lengths right out of the gate, and not even in the picture, but you're going to see Turn for Home. Now, don't forget that this day she was 1-5. It was an easy spot, but just, it's hard to win when you spot, no matter who you're facing, a big lead like that, and she just cruises under the wire. So I just wanted to go back and show you that. Paco Lopez going for 4 in a row on this horse. He knows how to win with this horse.
Yeah, she's been very impressive all along. I think this was part of a Rainbow Six mandatory payout day, and I'm sure she was a single for a lot of people. So when she walked out of the gate, there was definitely a lot of nervous moments.
Well, you alluded to number 6, Subsidiary, who's turning back to 3/4. That might help this horse this afternoon.
I think so. The last win, 2 starts back, came at 7 furlongs. Last time stepped up to the 12-5 level and going a mile and was beaten just a neck. She ran well. But I think that the turn back and the back down to into a right spot after 2 good efforts off the claim, this turn back might put her in a good place, but she's got the outside post to let the race unfold inside of her.
The angle here for the late pick 5, even the Rainbow Six, either you single a horse like Liza Starr or Free to Fly, or you use, like you did, 3 or 4 in the race, because you can make a case for everybody in there. So we'll see how that one plays out. Race number 7 is a mile on the turf. These are fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward. And as I mentioned, I went with Eskimo's Boss in here. A little bit of a play for me. Just on the breeding, she's a daughter of Sweet Boss and a half-sister to the local favorite Galleon Mass. As I mentioned a little early, won 9 of 34 races in the Mass, $659,000 with grit and determination for David Fawkes, who trained that horse and trains that horse, and adding Lasix today and got Tyler Gaffleone into the mix.
No, very interesting spot for this one. I saw the breeding as well. I think if you follow South Florida racing, it's tough not to be a fan of Galleon Mast. And so this one, the half-sister being by Street Boss, who obviously has thrown quite a few runners for sure. I did go with the number 8 Mint Edition, who I think on paper is the one to beat. Ran well in her debut for Ian Wilkes, a maiden special weight field, where the winner won by open lengths, Katama Moonlight, and was the one to beat that day. And typically with Ian, we like to see horses having a start or two. So I think second time out off of that good effort, she is probably the one to beat in here.
We both have the number 2 Baseline Drive in third, who should be, you would think, we primed and ready to offer more after returning from the layoff to finishing that rallying third at this level and distance. The reason I'm mentioning that is trainer Chad Brown. You got Chad Brown, you got Hall of Famer Javier Castellano riding. He just has not one where you see Chad Brown, you immediately put him on top.
Well, because this horse has already run for $75,000 and especially for $50,000 last time out. So typically I don't like those horses stepping up in class to the maiden special weight level. The biggest thing is that this horse has already taken a lot of money, was the talk of the town in Florida bred competition back last year when debuting at 80 cents to the dollar and just never really got on track after that. So I have my reservations about her, but obviously it's connections to respect. I'm surprised you didn't use bonkers, mostly because I was expecting you to call me bonkers.
Well, you
but,
are.
Well, we all know that. But the number 1 bonkers off a bit of a layoff, but Three Diamonds Farm has been really sharp with these horses of the horses of racing age, adding to their barn, adding to their stock, and moving to Mike Maker. So it goes back to the grass today. Bernardini filly out of a mare who was a 5-time turf winner.
Yeah, and ridden today by a red Ortiz Jr., I believe. So certainly a horse. I may have missed that one in there. Race number 8 is a 5-furlong turf event. Claimers, fillies, 3-year-olds, 20 down to 16. Scratch the number 4 horse in here. And I went with the number 1 Missing Link. We'll try and make it 2 in a row. Return from a layoff. I just want to go back and show you this horse's performance through the stretch. Just thought it was so impressive. Just looking around for competition, and there was none. Just cruised under the wire. So I just wanted to show you how nice she won for David Fawkes. He's pretty good winning consecutive races. David Fawkes about 25%. I just wanted to go back and sort of just a window dressing show you play here just to show you how well the horse ran. It was 9-5 that day.
And in a hand ride down to the wire too. You always love to see that. I thought it was a big performance and should be the main speed. I did take the number 6 though, very savvy, for Savvy Joseph Jr. Had to take up at a little bit of trouble, and there was actually the favorite. I'm gearing more towards, and I realized that her win did come in an off-the-turf race, but I think that she fits in here, and let's see if she can get a better trip today.
Yeah, and I just threw in the number 7, Pitufina, after the scratch of the 4, turned it on. This one was bumped at the start and ran okay. Went up the inside, finished 3rd behind Missing Link for Amador Sanchez. Maybe grabs a share.
No, for sure. I think if you look at the 2 favorites, kind of anything can happen in this race, including the number 5, Beauty Queen, who's a filly by Air Force Blue. Her only turf try was in the Sharp Susan in Stakes Company, which was back in August for Carlos David.
Yeah, so another interesting race on the card today. The 9th race is a 6-furlong starter optional claimer. These are fillies, 3-year-olds who started for 50 or less, so the optional claiming price of $50,000 in here. And you started it off here with the number 1 horse, and that's 2AT.
Yeah, this one I'm thinking ran well last time at 2-1, was second best to Briella, who's also in this field. But it just seems like she's kind of been a work in progress. They're trying to find the right spot for her. I think that this is a good place. They prefer her sprinting versus going long. And I think she's going to get a good trip as Briella and especially Patty H have quite a bit of speed. And I know you have a replay, but while we're talking about that race, we'll show a stat on the number 5, Briella, for trainer Kelly Breen. First off the claim with winners last time out on the dirt. 24% win with a sample size of 17, 53% of the time in the money. It is a negative ROI of 169. It's still fine, but these are horses that I think when they are in good form, Kelly does a good job of spotting them, moving them to his barn, and continuing on with them.
Well, you were talking about the 2 Patty H, who's, I think, going to move forward off that last performance after returning from a fresh, and we're going to follow her. She had that maiden victory in December. She comes back and to just show you the stretch call of this race. It looks like she gets a little leg weary here. You're going to see her start drifting out in the stretch. And I just thought she set some really good fractions of 21 and 4, 45 flat. And I just think she got tired and she just starts to drift a little bit out into the center of the track. I just wanted to show you that. Could not beat our Adios jersey that day, but ran well, and I think off that performance takes that big jump forward.
No, absolutely. And that was off of a roughly 2-month layoff. And I agree with you that she did seem to get tired in there. I do wonder if she is going to be hounded by Briella in this spot, though.
Yeah, it might happen again where she just doesn't have the anything left when they get to the stretch run. Race 10, 1 mile and 1/16 on the turf, maiden claiming fillies, 3-year-olds, 35 down to $30,000. Nice field of 10 with no scratches or jockey changes. I went with the number 9, Zaffing, who's dropping to the 35 level. Stalked the pace, finished 4th. Going a mile in the 16th for Todd. Tyler Gaffleone, it's a daughter of Ghost Zapper.
And this one will take money in the nightcap just because it's Todd. And I think that she's one you have to use if you're playing the pick 6 or the pick 5. But I didn't completely trust her. She ran better last time dropping, but now she drops again. And this could just be plain and simple the right spot for her. I did have some interest in the number 2, Poison Ivy, though. Second time out for trainer Mike Matz, filly by Caraconti, like that. And then on top of that, on the bottom side, the Dam was a stakes winner and a 2-time turf winner. And I thought that this was one that, A, needed a race, and I wouldn't mind seeing her on grass. So I get my wish today, and we'll see what happens.
I used the number 1 short circuit, who's stretching out to the 8.5 furlongs today after rallying to finish third against the same level. That was going a mile last time out. She's a daughter of Street Boss, and she just always indicated that she wants to run longer. At least to me, for Edgar Zayas and Victor Barboza Jr., thought maybe she can clunk up and get a share today.
And I think you have to respect the number 8, Irazu, at least to grab a piece in here. Finished second by half a length at this level, though she is making already her 10th start.
Trained by Angel Rodriguez, ridden today by Paco Lopez. That is the 10-race card for Friday afternoon. But we are not done. We're going to go to the ever-popular lightning round.
That's right. And obviously, with the weekend that we do have coming up, pretty Florida Derby-centric, as we have 10 stakes worth $1.85 million on Saturday's Curlin Florida Derby card. Of course, highlighted race 14 of 14 will be that 70th running of the Curlin Florida Derby, and we have a nice field of 11 assembled.
Yeah, and if you follow a Twitter, you're going to see that everybody in America seems to be picking soup and sandwich, or they like the name or something like that, with John Velasquez in the saddle. But you're absolutely right. And if you didn't do your handicapping like Acacia and I did already, you better get started. This is a wide open card, including the Curlin Florida Derby.
Yeah, of course, we have that mandatory payout in the Rainbow Six as well. Will culminate with that Florida Derby field, so get your handicapping hats on for that. As earlier in the card, we have the Gulfstream Oaks, always a highlight of the meet, as well as trainer Kenny McPeak is looking for back-to-back wins in the Gulfstream Oaks, and I thought it'd be fun to go back to last year's, where Swiss Skydiver was 9-1, Ronnie.
I know. I went back and looked at this race this morning, and when the results came up, I saw $20.20. Horse went on, of course, to win the Preakness, and just an amazing horse. So that's the beauty of Gulfstream Park. You never know what you're going to see in any race.
He has Crazy Beautiful this year, 5-2 on the morning line as he looks for back-to-back wins in this race. But I think that was the last time you're ever going to get Swiss Skydiver at 9-1, which is pretty cool to look back and see her big win, which kicked off such an incredible campaign in 2020 for that filly. As we are also getting ready for cheering on our U.S. contingent over in Dubai on Dubai World Cup night, and Florida-bred Extravagant Kid, what a cool horse he is, ready for the Alquaz Sprint in Dubai. And this is his a recent workout at Palmettos for trainer Brendan Walsh. We've seen him quite a bit here at Gulfstream Park.
Yeah, he's a top sprinter. He's made over $1 million, and boy, he's been sort of stuck in second gear the last couple of races. But don't leave this horse off your ticket. Very dangerous, especially sprinting.
Oh, absolutely, and cool to see him still running, as he's been just so consistent as well. Danced every dance. We will be rooting for him as we have a good story to share. Of course, we look after our own in this industry, and it was amazing to see the former connections of the Grade 1 winner, the Deputy, the first Grade 1 winner for owner Gary Barber, as Gary and Team Valor teamed up to rescue this horse when he ended up in a feedlot, ended up in a bad situation, and he's now going to a Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance accredited facility.
Yeah, I think he won the Santa Anita Derby, Grade 1, or I think it was the Santa Anita Derby. He was in the Kentucky Derby, and that is just a great story.
We have to look out for those retired athletes, both during the racing days and after as well. So kudos to the connections for stepping up, and glad to see the Deputy will live out the rest of his life cared for and happy and healthy. As we have to wish congratulations to our friend Chris Griffin. Ron, he called the races with us at Gulfstream Park West for a little while, named the new track announcer at Parks.
Yeah, really a nice guy. Congratulations to him. We called over there Gulfstream Park West, which was not an easy task. You can ask our track announcer, Pete Aiello, calling from the top of three, the little carts or something like that, whatever you want to call it. So he did a
basically carts, yeah.
He did a fantastic job.
Yes, of course, with the retirement of Keith Jones at Parks, Chris Griffin will take over. So wishing Chris all the best in the new position. As today's was supposed to be the return of the Stronach 5, do note that the sequence has been canceled. There was unfortunately another positive of equine herpes at Laurel Park, so the Stronach 5 run will be back next week.
Yeah, always you got to err in the side of caution. So we definitely we'll be back with the Stronach 5 next week, and I'm sure it'll be fantastic.
I was hoping to see our friends and our sister track at Laurel Park back up and running soon, but we've got lots of great racing coming up for you today at beautiful Gulfstream Park. We're glad to have you with us, as we'll send it up now to track announcer Pete Aiello for Scratches and Changes.